Francisco, take it away. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to present our work in this event. So I want to describe what have been done in this project, this data science and machine learning methodology dissemination in Latin America. So this is a dissemination project, so you will see some of the differences compared to the other presentations. And why are we doing this, first of all? And I think there is an important concept in science that is not very common to use, and this concept is scientific inequality. And we think that machine learning and AI in general is like an area in which we can find higher levels of scientific inequality. And this concept basically refers to this idea that for certain groups, for certain population, they are disproportionately behind regarding the adoption of these techniques that science have for everybody. So thinking in this idea on this scientific inequity, we developed this project to disseminate machine learning techniques in Latin America. So what was like the timeline of the project? So it's a very straightforward project. So it's divided in 4 phases. So the first phase is basically to collect the data sets from the local partners. And we think that from pedagogical perspective that this is one very important step, because we know that many of the data tutorials and materials that we can find in machine learning courses are very specific to certain fields, to certain problems. So we are first of all trying to collect information that is relevant for the people who is going to learn these techniques. Then we are going to design these materials and use the analysis of these data sets to transmit the knowledge. Then we have to review these materials and basically do all of the cultural adaptation. I think this is very important here. So we know that there is a lot of materials regarding machine learning, but it's important to make these materials culturally adapted. And finally, we are planning to conduct these 2 workshops. One workshop, a pilot study, in which we are basically testing the materials, and a second workshop that is more real-world conditions, so effectiveness of the material that we prepare. We already conduct the first workshop, and I will show you some of the findings that we have there. So first, the partners that we are having in this project, the first one is the Colombian Institute for Evaluation of the Quality of the Education. This is basically the institution that makes the SAT in Colombia, so it's a governmental institution. Corporación Nuevos Rumbos is an NGO organization that basically they do research and prevention regarding adolescent alcohol and drug use in general. And finally, we have our academic partner that is La Universidad de los Andes. So from these institutions, we collected 2 different data sets. The first data set is this data contains risk and protective factors related to drug use. This is a huge data set of 70,000 students from different regions from Colombia, and we have information about the use of alcohol and the risk and protective factors that can be related to alcohol use, like perception of risk and other family risk factors. And from the ICFES, we have the academic achievement of the student, and this is a very special data set because we have the opportunity, or the ICFES help us to make panel data, a small panel data in which we have information from the students that present the test at the end of the school year, and information from 5 years before the test. So we have a mini panel data set in which we can use it to predict the academic performance based on this information from the past. So with this data set, we already did some analysis. This analysis, I did the analysis for the class of Professor here. And basically with with not done many data preprocessing, we already can explain 16% of the variation of the test performance with this information from the past. I know that in this, maybe for you it's a little explanation of the variation. Of course, we can increase this variation. But in social science and in education, usually we have a very low score. So I'm very proud of this. So what we did in the first workshop, so we created a lot of materials, and we basically decided like to go and try to do the best that we did, and at the end we had like this information. So we have 2 days workshops. The first day basically we are like helping people like to set up the like the chip and the computers too. So we have some information about machine learning, why, when to use it, what's the difference with other techniques or traditional statistics. And then we go to the tidy model framework. We something that we identify in this specific population is that they are more users. We too. So we are using tidy models. That is a package that automates a lot of the process for machine learning, and so it's very easy to teach. And then we do like our classification analysis study, and that's like the first day. And then in the second day, we basically go through trees, methods, so decision trees and random forests. At the end of the workshop, so we have like some materials, exercises that people can do. We are like there with them, trying to, in this case, we're like trying to test all of these materials. Okay, so what is next? After this workshop, we were invited to this important seminar, the International Seminar of Evaluation of Quality of Education. We are doing our next workshop like in this important event. And then we have like our second workshop, like the real example workshop with more people, like 30 people is like our goal for this workshop. People from different universities and different areas from Bogota. And so for now we are in Colombia, but basically the project is to use this information and expand this information to other countries like Brazil and Mexico. Something that we are working, and if somebody have like some experience that would be really helpful, is like we are developing these materials in a multi-language framework, and it's difficult like to think like how to organize this in the best way, in the best possible way. So right now we have the materials in Spanish, but next we are planning to have this material in Portuguese and English. So we need to figure out how to keep everything like updated, and if we do some changes in one language, how this is going to be affected or reflected in other languages. So this is basically the project. This is a photo that I really like, because usually in all of the workshops that I attend, with some exceptions, people is like sometimes like frustrated because the computer is not working, because they don't understand. And in this picture, everybody is like smiling. It wasn't on purpose. So I mean, that's like the experience that we had in La Universidad de los Andes. I'm creating this repo if you in GitHub with the materials, so you can like scan the code. There is also a poster there, and you can like access to the materials. It's under construction right now, but it will be like growing and growing. So thank you very much, and that's all.